Welcome to an exciting episode of Hidden in Universe. Welcome to another exciting episode of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryan, your host, and I thought we'd go ahead and take a look at biopic. Now, you're probably wondering what biopic I'm taking a look at. Well, one non-universal and the other universal. So, in 2013, they want that Universal alongside Open Road Productions wanted to take a stab on a biopic based on Apple CEO Steve Jobs. That would ultimately become Jobs. But I'm not reviewing Jobs. So Open World would make this version with Ashton Kutcher. But that's not the one I watched, which I will save that one for later. The one I watched was actually the Danny Boyle directed biopic starring Michael Fassbender. This was titled Steve Jobs. And yeah, this was Universal as well. And this was made by Universal. It was directed by Danny Boyle and is written by Aaron Sorkin, coming from the heels of The Social Network, which dealt with another political figure becoming, about a guy who invents them. But anyways, so yeah, the movie, like I said, the movie stars Michael Fassbender, Kate Winslet, Seth Rogen, Jeff Daniels, among the cast in Steve Jobs. Now, what did I think of Steve Jobs? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I like this movie. This was great. This was really, really good. So, if you're not familiar with the story of Steve Jobs, he's a man who would help create Apple computers, the Macintosh, stuff like that. So the movie starts in 1984, where they're introducing the Mac, the black box Macintosh system, and that's that start. So they're getting ready for the Super Bowl ad. He meets alongside another man played by Jeff Daniels, who is sort of like, I forget who he plays in the movie. I want to say, I don't know. Who does he play? It doesn't say on the back of the DVD. But he plays a guy who actually was one of the guys that worked for Pepsi. So at the beginning of the film, they're finding out that he's not a great father to a 5-year-old named Lisa. That's what he named the first computer, the Lisa. So she's shown his daughter, who he says is not my daughter. So he's shown him that, and they're introduced, and he says, I promise I'm going to get 1 million units sold by the end of the year. Trust me. So he's not a very nice man. Steve Jobs is not a nice man. I'm going to tell you right now, he's not the nicest guy in this movie. But Michael Fassbender just delivers to a sympathetic character that you're going to want to like. And yeah, it's really that. Then fast forward to 1998. Well, wait, I forgot something. He meets up with Seth Rogen. Now, I have covered 2 movies last year with Seth Rogen, Knocked Up and The Fabelman. I will say between both of those, I actually liked him in Steve Jobs compared to his performance in The Fabelman. I think he was a lot better in Steve Jobs, in my opinion. But that's really just opinion. And it's a lot of fun. It's really good. So, time travel, cut decades later as we get into 1998, and I'm going to tell you right now, somebody from the 90s, I actually used a Macintosh computer in grade school, so I'm well familiar with the Macintosh through that era. And I don't remember if my family had Macintoshes. I was a Windows user. I've used Windows probably since the 95 era. And yeah, it's really a good story. Then his daughter meets him in it, meets up with him again, explains that you don't give a shot about my mother, okay? So he's trying to get money to her for college tuition for her to learn instead of just caring about your mother. He doesn't like the mother by calling the mother inappropriate things. Not gonna say them on camera, but if you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's really, really, really good. And like I said, I do have Jobs, and I'm gonna watch that one. I'm gonna try to get to that one next month or a month. 2 months, 2 months down the road, I'll check out Jobs and maybe see which version's better, or which of these Steve Jobs biopics are better. But I will easily say so far, this is a great movie. And yeah, I really liked it. The performances are really good. And though my only complaint of the film, this is my only complaint, I'm still going to keep this movie, is that the movie claims that it's 2 hours and 30 minutes. This movie was short. This movie was short as heck. This movie fly by super fast. I thought to myself, I don't know if I felt cheated or I felt like it could have been better. Could have been a little longer and it would have probably been much, much better. And yeah, I really enjoyed Steve Jobs. I thought, to be honest, it's one of the best biopics I've ever watched for this show that I've ever checked out. So, yeah, in terms of, yeah, I'll go ahead and, excuse me guys, I didn't want to yawn on screen. I don't know, I'm trying to get through this migraine right now. I have a headache right now, so it's kind of hard for me to kind of talk and review this movie, but I still like the movie regardless. And yeah, the founder of Apple, I forgot. I'm trying to think of anything else. Kate Winslet plays the woman that's friends with Steve Jobs. Though they introduced the iMac later, which I'm definitely familiar with the iMac. But yeah, so yeah, it's not really much. Not really much. You do get a pamphlet for the Alfred Hitchcock classics on Blu-ray high def. So you get that on there. Yeah. You get that. So if you want to take a look at those, I cover one of the Hitchcock movies on the channel, so you can check out that. But yeah, let's get down to special features. Special features on here are Inside Jobs, The Making of Steve Jobs, which is a 3-part featurette. I did watch part of it, and it was pretty good. And you get a commentary by Danny Boyle and Aaron Sorkin and tons of other filmmakers who worked on the movie. And yeah, this is brilliant. Yeah, it's great. Like I said, the only really negative I can find the film that's a little too short. I kind of wish it was a little longer, but it was a great watch from start to finish. I wasn't bored. I was enjoying it from start to finish. Let's go ahead and take a look at the artwork. I always usually show you that. And I do like the font. I like in the end credits they use the cast members. They use the Macintosh font, though. And there you go. There's the back. The only reason why this is R is because of the rough language. If this didn't have rough language, because the Kushner movie Steve Jobs is PG-13, but this is R, so this has a lot of hard language, but I think it's what makes this movie better. In certain ways, you need that hard language because Steve Jobs was not a nice guy. Now, I never met Steve Jobs, so I can't say that, but watching this movie, yeah, he can be really hard to work with. So, yeah. Anyways, final verdict. Should you see Steve Jobs? Yes. I can recommend this. This is an automatic yes. Do at least check this out. If you thought Ashton Kutcher's portrayal of Steve Jobs wasn't great, give this one a watch. Again, I'm going to have to watch for myself to see which version's better, or which of these Steve Jobs biopic movies are better. But for now, as of now, this one is great. And I can definitely recommend Steve Jobs to anybody who wants to watch a good biopic. I'm not the biggest Danny Boyle fan, but I think as a director, I think he's improved. I wasn't a fan of Slumdog Millionaire or 28 Days Later, But if you are interested in this, definitely check the movie out. It's definitely worth a watch. So that's my review of Steve Jobs. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content on the channel, like, comment, subscribe, do all those good things. Let me know what you guys think of Steve Jobs. Did you guys like this movie? Let me know in the comments. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.